Hello, New York Giants fans, and welcome to your Giants News Roundup for Tuesday, March 29th. I'm Ed Valentine of Big Blue View. Please like and subscribe here on YouTube if you like what you hear, and check out all of our content at bigblueview.com, on our Big Blue View Facebook page, Instagram, follow our Twitter account. Pretty much anywhere you consume your information, you can find a Big Blue View platform to follow your New York Giants. So please do that. All right, let's talk about the Giants news of the day. General Manager Joe Schoen took his turn on Monday, speaking to media from the NFL league meetings. Couple of interesting things came out of that. First and foremost, Schoen said that he is not shopping running back Saquon Barkley, denied that he has actually made any calls regarding trying to trade Barkley, said that he will listen to calls from other general managers, which is a change in stance from what we heard a few years back from Dave Gettleman, who said that, famously said before he drafted Barkley in the first round in 2018, that he refused to answer the phone, told other Giants officials not to answer the phone. They were drafting Barkley regardless of what anyone else offered. So that is actually what Joe Schoen should be doing. He should be listening to offers. I've said it over and over. I would be fine with a Barkley trade. I believe that doing that would be in the best interests of the franchise. But if they don't, they don't. Barkley is a terrific player when he's healthy, and will obviously make the Giants a better team in 2022. Just found it interesting that Schoen said that he has not been making calls, and that he would look forward to having Barkley on the team in 2022. Schoen also addressed the James Bradberry situation, denied that he really absolutely has to trade Bradberry. Of course, that is what Schoen needs to say at this point in time. He cannot publicly appear desperate to trade Bradberry, even though the reality of it is the Giants don't have much choice but to move on from Bradberry. They need the $11 million or so relief that they would get on the salary cap from moving on from Bradberry. They're roughly only $1 million or so above, underneath the cap at this point in time. That's not nearly enough money to sign their rookie class, after the draft. It's not nearly enough money to make any real substantial moves at this point. It's not nearly enough money to get through the 2022 season. So even though they're under, and even though they have been able to make some low-cost veteran free agent signings, they are still in a very, very precarious cap situation and need to make some moves. The biggest card they have to play is the Bradberry card. So I would expect to see a Bradberry trade, if not soon, perhaps during and or shortly after the draft. We'll have to see the Giants move on from James Bradberry. I'm really not sure how else they're going to create the room to sign their rookies. So we'll see what Joe Schoen is able to come up with. We did see reports on Monday that there were teams, the Chiefs, the Texans, the Colts, maybe some others, who are interested in Bradberry, and we'll see how that market develops and what Schoen is able to do there. Also, interesting quote from Schoen in regards to the upcoming NFL draft. Schoen said in regards to priorities in the draft, needs in the draft, he said, "We have enough needs on the roster that I think you can go take the best player available." Of course, teams, general managers always say they want the best player available. Best player available, though, is really a myth, because every team in the NFL has a different draft board. Every team in the NFL has a different view of who the best player available might be. It's all colored by who their head coach is, who their coordinators are, what they perceive their needs to be at the time of the draft, perhaps even by their financial situations. So there is no clear best player available really ever. It's best player available for the situation that your team is in, for the scheme that you run, for the coaches that you have. It's best player available for your team. So we'll see when the Giants get to number 5 and number 7, who they think those players are going to be. Shane continues to say that he wants to have 7 guys he's comfortable with, that he could, where he could take any of those 7. And that is what the Giants will continue to work toward, is coming up with those 7 players. Shane also said that he has not really yet considered whether he would be willing to move back. I'm not sure I'm buying that. There were reports that that the Giants were interested in moving back. We probably wouldn't see anything develop or anything happen on that front until much, much closer to the draft. But moving down with one of those picks is something that makes a lot of sense to me. Gives the Giants flexibility, gives them more picks, which is something Shane has said he wanted. It could give them flexibility in the 2023 draft, could give them some financial help since the rookie contracts are slotted, and the farther back you move, the more cap relief you're going to get. So it would make sense to me for the Giants to try to move down a few spots, maybe into the middle of the first round, and try to pick up some extra capital. We'll see how all of that goes. Also on Monday, the Giants did make yet another free agent signing, adding veteran offensive lineman Max Garcia, most recently of the Arizona Cardinals. Garcia is a guy who has played mostly left guard, some right guard during his career, played close to 300 snaps for Arizona as a center in 2021. So just another 1-year signing by Joe Shane, another veteran depth piece. I believe this is 5 or 6 offensive line signings now. Garcia, Jamil Douglas, Mark Glowinski, John Feliciano, Matt Gano, and also re-signing Corey Cunningham. I mean, no one is going to pretend that any of these are great players. These are all, middle tier guys who had no real choice but to accept 1-year contracts. But what most of them all are guys that have played a good amount of NFL football, guys who are competent players, guys who should be able to either compete for jobs as starters or be competent backups should the Giants need to play them during the 2022 season. Giants so often during 2021 were using guys like Wes Martin and guys like Matt Skura, and playing guys who really shouldn't have been out there. As I said, none of these guys that Joe Shane is signing should be considered all Pro Bowl caliber players, just competent players who should give the Giants adequate play if they need to play during the 2022 season. Really the best that Shane could do, considering the cap constraints that the Giants have. All right, Giants fans, that's what I've got for you today. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.